Now, we are now live. We will get to our great buddy in Louisiana who has to leave shortly. Jay Aterio, Louisiana Bears. Followed by him to our left is Michael Kormeroff from Brooklyn, New York. John Anele from the great state of Georgia. John Anele on Facebook for all those boys and girls out there in YouTube land. Great state of New Hampshire, right here in New England. We got Bumpy.
Yeah.
Boom. Bumpy Road Brewery. We got Jeremy Vincent from one of those states. Arkansas, not Kansas. That's Whiskey Scout. Holy
Missouri.
Oh my God, stop that. Now we have the final addition to our program tonight. John H. Henderson, Priere, TV and a beer, sometimes Rambler. Mobile, Alabama.
Hello.
The beverage
ramble, but it's all good, guys. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, world. America. How are you?
Thomas Metal 75 here in cloudy today, New England, southeastern New England. And we're going to do sort of like a wild card Wednesday. We'll chat a tiny bit about these beers, but we can kind of keep our little discussions about beer or whatever else we want to talk about very informal, if you will. So whatever you want to talk about with the beers we're drinking tonight, go right ahead. We'll just go down the line and just introduce the beers. And if anybody, once we do that, if anybody wants to talk about their beers, what they're getting, shout out things, talk about ratings, whatever, just have a good old discussion with the chat here. So Jay Terrio, Louisiana Beer Reviews, what are you bringing to the table this evening?
Well, and sorry I got to get off of here in 22 minutes, but I have in my Schultz and Dooley glass.
Beautiful club, right? Schultz and Dooley.
Yeah, I have. Someone sent that to me. I have Keystone Ice from Coors Brewing Company. It's 5.9% alcohol.
Is that a craft beer?
It says Keystone. What do you think Keystone is?
I think it's from California, and I think it's a hoppy beer, to be confused.
I don't know. I just said Keystone, and it says 5.9% alcohol. It's certified kosher, and it is 145 calories, and it's very cheap relative to other beers.
Excellent. All right, Keystone Ice. Michael Kormeroff, what are we drinking this evening? Discussion.
The original craft canned beer from 2002 from Oscar Blues called Dale's Pale Ale.
Very good one.
6.5 ABV, 65 IBUs. It's now brewed in Brevard, North Carolina, and also in Longmont, Colorado.
Nice. Friggin' cheers to that. John Anele, Georgia. You showed us earlier what he's drinking. Show the boys and girls.
Boulevard Brewing Company out of Kansas City, Missouri. This is the 6th glass. It's a quadruple ale. Comes in at 10.2% alcohol by volume, and it is 22 IBUs. I poured it up. It had a really nice head on it. As you can see, it's got some really nice lacing. Nice looking beer in the glass. So I cannot wait to get into this one.
Boy, that looks good, boy. Woo.
Yeah.
All right.
You might be getting some of this soon, Ron. I see this beer in your future.
Wow.
I'd like to know how that's going to happen. Let me tell you, because we don't even get Boulevard beers around here.
I don't know.
We do get Boulevard down here in Alabama, so I'm surprised that you haven't gotten it down there yet in Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, they have great distribution. I really am surprised that Jay doesn't get it anymore, but he does have a lot of craft beer. They're trying to keep it local, I guess, and there's only so much room on the shelves. It's the same way here, but Boulevard is that good, and the people in the good state of Georgia realize it, so they make room for it.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't go to the store this weekend and then suddenly it shows up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just that sucks that it's not that you can't get it.
Yeah.
John, beer mail in your future. I feel it. Anyways, we will get to that John awesome beer. I do want everybody to know we got some Bumpy Road here from New Hampshire. What are you drinking tonight?
So I got the New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. Comes in at 9% ABV. It does not state the calories, but I'll take a wild guess. It's like probably 290, 310 calories.
Meal replacement shake right there.
Anyway, so yeah, it pours with a fairly tight white bubbled head.
Nice.
A nice, it's kind of going into like an amber color, just about like a light amber.
Similar to mine. Looks similar to mine.
Yep.
Yeah, very clear.
Then you get more New Englandy, and then you go that light lemony color haze. Yeah, interesting. All right, Jeremy Vincent from the great state of Arkansas. What are we drinking tonight? More IPA.
Sierra Nevada, hazy little thing IPA, 6.7% ABV,
Nice.
40 IBUs, and 201 calories. Somebody said, so I don't know.
Boom. That I know Rapier says estimated calories. I don't know how they estimate that crap, but they estimate it somehow.
That's the only thing I've found on it as far as calories.
Boom. There you go. Last but not least, the Beer Rambler. You gotta tell me your name again. Jean H. Pierre. Here we go. What are you drinking tonight?
Going by yes, thank you, Eric. It's going by the name now about Beverage Ramble when I start my
Beverage.
video.
You got all the Lakers together.
Exactly. So I do wine and do beer, maybe do spirits, maybe get off that mountain of no more spirits again. But anyway, that's another day for that. But right, I am drinking Qingdao. This is the beer made in China. You see it, I'm sure, if you go to any all-you-can-eat China buffets, you definitely will see this available. But very good beer, imported, again, made in China, 4.8% ABV. All right, that's what I'm having tonight.
Sweet.
When you go to the all-you-can-eat, the Chinese buffets, they should also have like a bucket full of the Tsingtao beers that are all you can drink. If you're paying for that buffet, you should get the unlimited beer too. Just my opinion, you know.
Yes. We were gonna let Jay talk about some beer first because he's gotta leave first. But Jay, where'd you go, buddy? I don't know.
Eric, tell us again what you have from
Thank you.
Trail.
I almost forgot about the host of the damn fucking show. This is Long Trail Brewing Company. They're out of Bridgewater Corners, Vermont. This is their Trail Hopper IPA at 4.75% alcohol by volume, as Jay would say. Certified kosher. No, I don't know if this is kosher. And this is a beer that the teenagers drink. 40 IBUs we got here. Available in 18 packs. And soon 19.2 ounce cans, similar to the All Day IPA by Founders in that giant can. And some of the Sierra Nevada beers are in 19.2, I think now.
Jay has
beer good for drinking or something. I don't know. Jay, yes, let's go to Jay Terrio and talk a little bit about some Keystone Ice, as much or as little as you want to say. So,
yeah, sorry about that. The lady across the street called me, and she tends to like to talk a lot. So I said, I'm actually on a hangout with somebody. I was trying to see the Qingdao ABV on here to make sure I was right. Okay, Pabst. What am I thinking? Pabst don't do anything right. Okay. Anyway, they actually control Qingdao distribution. Well, it's pretty good. I mean, it's all the beers you were describing while I was on the phone trying to. She was going on, and I was like, oh, no. All right, so.
4.8% Qingdao.
I was looking at what y'all were talking. I was looking at what y'all were presenting, and I was trying to follow it. It's good. This is not anything really probably to the level of what y'all are drinking. What is Jean? Oh yeah, Jean Pierre is a Qingdao. Well, I think it can rival the. I sing that hell, but
Man, it's a fun word to say. Qingdao.
I always like saying that word. Qingdao. It's really
don't hate us, China, please. We like your beer. I think we all.
I know it's pronounced Qingdao because I was at a Chinese restaurant one time, and I said to the lady, I said, I want to get one of those Tsingtao beers. She said, it's not pronounced Tsingtao, it's pronounced Qingdao. I said, okay.
Qingdao.
Right.
The Qingdao dynasty?
No, that's not what it means. Because it's a town in China called Qingdao. But And then I asked her, how do you pronounce China? She says, pronounced Zhongguo.
You got a frog in your throat, lady?
I thought that was a joke. I thought you were going to say, well, it's just pronounced China. Silly.
No, in Chinese, she said pronounced Zhongguo. But anyway, this has got a little hop action. It's got a little bitterness. You know, it's not too sweet. It's not too bitter. It's kind of round. The body's medium. It's a pretty crisp finish. It's got 5.9% alcohol, so it gives it enough body and character. Now, being a Keystone beer, China's pronounced Port. That's wrong. Now, this beer would be good to help with your BMI, your body mass index, because it's lighter than a lot of these high alcohol beers. I like it. I mean, it's enjoyable. You could drink 4 in a day and not just accumulate a lot of pounds. I know a lot of people that that live around me in Louisiana that drink craft beer here, craft beer there, craft beer here, craft beer there, craft beer here, craft beer. Just on and on and on. And let me tell you, they are not on a diet, as you would know that a quick glance. But to me, I'm not joking about that because I think that's unhealthy, you know, to get in trouble with the weight, you know. But
as long as you incorporate water in between, you know. So.
Yep.
Ryan has arrived. I got to make a spot for him.
Guys, Metal, what are we drinking this evening?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, we're talking to the other Brian.
Oh, well, I didn't hear him say Brian.
Stand up. Please stand up.
All right, so this is homebrew. This is my it's a Hefeweizen. It's the lime. It's a lime Hefeweizen that I made. It's a 6.5%.
Lime Hefeweizen.
That sounds really good. A homebrew lime Hefeweizen.
Lime visor. Ooh, lime visor. I like it.
Lime Bison. Yeah. It's kind of cool. When I make it, I give 4 growlers to one of my buddies at work and he gives me $40.
Bam. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, I'll make it all the time. Sure.
Wow. Must be really good.
Twist my arm.
pretty sure you need a license to do that. Hey,
only if you know that.
Just like marijuana, right?
Only if you
I
tell
didn't hear anything about a license.
He's twisted his arm, so it's a threat, you know. So
It's all right.
looks like
They call it bartering.
Yeah, bartering.
Money coming this way pretty soon. Hey,
Give me a couple of wooden nickels.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish describing mine.
Can you give us a rating on yours in case you have to leave?
Yeah, because I have to leave due to baseball-related issues. In other words, Texas Rangers and Houston Astros. All right. So, go to hell, Boston. Go to hell. Y'all ain't never done anything except win like 9 World Series. Besides that,
Ooh, he's digging.
aside from all the World Series, what have you ever done? Okay. Anyway,
He's walking the talk.
Anyway, Eric says go
We'll
Ranger.
be done soon, folks. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program.
You're the one instigating with all your comments. I will say this before I give the score. I watched the Hangout yesterday, and they were asking why New York was not. They were talking about body mass index, which I thought was very interesting. And I looked by it; it was very nice. I was very pleased with that number. And secondly, they were wondering why New York was not considered part of New England, because New York's right up there in that spot. But I said, well, the reason is because New York was not New York.
New Amsterdam.
It used to be the Dutch territory. It was New Amsterdam. It was the whole state was New Netherlands. It was part of England. It was a Dutch territory. So it couldn't be part of New England. It was New Netherlands. But they had a war and the Dutch lost. But it was just never considered part of New England because it was a separate, country.
Yeah.
ruling it. So that's the answer to that question that they were talking about.
The more you know.
The more you know, the more crazy comments you can make on a hangout that other people can't see when they're watching it. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's good information. I didn't know that New York was kind of populated by the Dutch. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Brian, he's drinking Keystone Light, if you're wondering.
Oh,
Keystone Ice.
right.
No, I took that last gulp and I was really pleased with it. It had some banana notes that Coors beers tend to have because of that Belgian style yeast. I was thoroughly pleased with the last gulp. And sitting in this heat for 4 straight days in this humidity with no air conditioner.
Whoa.
I mean, golly, talk about unpleasant.
Your hair's dry.
Well, now the air conditioner's working because it's brand new after $5,000. Thank you. But
You're not cheap.
Central Air. Wow.
But I can't complain. I was playing with house money. I was playing with house money because the unit I had was from 1991.
Ooh. That's time for a new one.
So hey, you can only nurse it so long, and then it becomes stupid. It becomes an exercise in stupidity. But this beer,
especially in the pocketbook.
Huh?
Especially in the pocketbook.
Yeah, my pocketbook was feeling very stupid. Now it feels really stupid because it's $5,000 less than it was. But I got a brand new unit and all of that. But I'm gonna have to give this a 93. People might laugh and say you're cuckoo, but I'm gonna say 93. It is the most excellent beer. It's so refreshing, and if you don't have air conditioning in your house for 4 days with this humidity, Keystone stole the yeast from Miller. If you have to sit here, with this humidity, this is a beer that really works. I have to say.
Agreed.
That's why I don't live there.
And the price is pretty good too. So
oh, Brian, it is great. Yeah, the price $7.99 for a 15-pack. Yeah, Brian, it's like devastating. The humidity is devastating. I was laying
in the South quite a bit, so I do understand.
Hey, it's no different here in Mobile. It's
exactly.
just as humid. Just as humid.
It's nearly. I would not say just as, but I would say close.
Yep.
Close. I was laying in my bed and the sheets were just wet from me laying there.
Yeah, I can't do that, man. When you're going from air conditioning to air conditioning just to try and stay dry, that sucks.
Is it like that in Mobile, Alabama?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Same with
Very much so.
Mississippi.
Very much so.
Georgia.
This is from a northerner, me from New Jersey, living down here these last 13 years. This heat, I'm still not used to it here.
That's why you keep your hair short.
Yeah.
I grew up in it, and I'm not used to it either.
That's why his hair short.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how people can go. I really don't know how people can wear shirts in Louisiana at this time of the year. I'm wearing a shirt.
Hallelujah.
I'm only wearing a shirt to be presentable. Now you realize
you can put a pair of overalls on with that shirt.
No,
just don't wear
no
pants.
service.
They can't see below the. Just take your pants off. That's what I do.
You heard a lot, folks. You got no pants on.
TMI.
But nobody, this is what you see.
Overalls without a shirt. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh.
Jay, real quick. Jay, real quick.
I don't have any overall. You see now? It's always that anti-Southern stuff. Now here, I'm about to go crazy on the internet. Okay, what now, John?
Real quick, with the other 5.9 ice beers, Natty Ice, Old Milwaukee Ice, Bush Ice, Milwaukee's Best Ice. Any comparison between that and Keystone Ice at 5.9?
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're so similar. I mean, the similarities are so great, and the differences are so minimal that you should only shop price. Only price. Now, when you start going down a little lower, like with your Genesee Ice, then things start to break down a little bit, and the quality starts to suffer. I like Genesee Cream Ale, but the Genesee Ice, it ain't really.
I consider that one the sort of the distant cousin of the ice beer world. I don't think that one gets no love. That one,
When's the last
Milwaukee
time
Ice.
you had Genesee? You need to revisit Genesee Ice. It's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting it. I can get a 24-ounce can for 99 cents here, cheap.
Oh, yeah.
99 cents. That sounds about right. The last time I reviewed, and don't forget Old Milwaukee Ice. Now that's a beautiful beer. The last time I reviewed Genesee Ice must have been about 2013. So you think they've improved it, huh, John?
I think it's pretty good. I've always liked it, but I used
It's
to be
a little better now.
When I lived in Columbus, I'd buy the singles for 99 cents, 24-ounce cans. I get a 30-pack for $13.99. I think it's basically like a concentrated version of the cream ale now. It tastes like a little bit stronger version of the cream ale to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm open-minded. I'd be willing to try it, Here's the thing I'm going to say before I get off the air. Here's some beers I think I'd love to try that come from Qingdao. We get the regular one, and then one time I got the Qingdao draft beer. I never saw the Qingdao draft again in my life.
They sell it here at a couple of Chinese restaurants on draft.
No, I'm talking about its packaged draft. It's called Pure Draft.
Wow.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the same as if you go to a restaurant and they have Qingdao on draft, or is it different?
Yeah, it would be theoretically, at least.
Yeah.
There's also, I'm looking at the Qingdao website right now, the Hong Kong website, not the US. There's Qingdao Dark Stout.
I like that. Stout Sunday.
There's Qingdao. There's Qingdao Premium. See, we just get the Qingdao run-of-the-mill. There's Qingdao Premium in a red can and bottle. There's the draft I told you about. There's Hiquan, which is what is Hiquan? I don't even know. It's a different brand that they make. And then they make beer in a can called Great Ocean Beer. Why do we not get these brands? I'm telling you, Americans would drink these beers, but you cannot get them.
We would drink them, I guess. Yeah.
This goes on all day. Get on the Foster's website. We get Foster's and Foster's Premium Ale, right?
Oh, that's right. Foster's own them, right? And they have some involvement with them, right?
No, I'm using that as an example.
Oh.
But if you get on the Foster's website, why do we only get the Premium Ale and the lager? Why don't we get Foster's Sheaf Stout, the stout? Why we don't get the stout? Why don't we get the Victoria Lager? Why don't we get all these other ones that are fancy and craft beer style? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get on a rant and rave in 1 minute because I got to get off there. But why?
I don't know. No.
Distribution contract? Who knows?
I mean, wouldn't you try them if you saw them? I would.
Okay, I would.
Too.
I would.
That would be it. Yeah.
I went to that store 2 years ago and they had Sapporo Black beer. I said, Sapporo Black? I bought that.
Yeah.
Hey, where does
They used to sell that. Yeah, I think I've had that one.
Where does Molson Ice rate?
Whoa.
Molson Ice, that's good. I rank that very high.
That's my favorite one.
I like Molson Ice.
I wasn't particularly thrilled with that beer, to tell you the truth, but I have to qualify that statement. The Molson Ice I got a hold of was a contract brewed, American brewed version. It was not from Toronto. It was some, you know what, thing from Rochester, New York. And I said, oh, really? So what you get from Toronto, I think, is a lot different than the Molsons we get from Rochester, New York. All right.
Even the Triple X.
Triple X is okay. That's not coming from Rochester. That's coming.
Molson Ice is one of my favorite ice beer. I couldn't get it until I moved out here. 5.6%. It's name another ice beer that's 5.6%. I can't think of.
Not that many.
I can't think of any, actually.
Another one I don't care for. Well, maybe I guess Molson Ices are. The ones that really are treacherous, the American brewed ones, are the Labatt.
A Labatt Ice was,
I've never had Labatt Ice.
I think I gave it a B score.
Can't get it here. Can't get Labatt Ice.
And that Labatt
home in Jersey.
Showing, that Labatt Blue Light. They got Blue Light Ice and Blue Light Light.
I've seen the blue light when I went home 2 years ago for Christmas. I saw that, but I didn't get it. I just went ahead and got the Labatt Ice. I said, well, let me buy it. I haven't had it, and I reviewed it, and I wasn't too impressed with that.
That's from Rochester, New York. I said, turn off the light. I don't want it. You know.
I gotta check. I gotta check real fast before we get too involved in ice beer craze here. Because I don't want Michael Komarov to fall asleep. We got to hear about Dale's Pale Ale real fast.
He's not going to fall asleep. I want to say one more thing before I get off the air.
Go ahead, Jay.
My beer was very good. Jean-Pierre's beer, I like it. Jeremy Vincent's beer, I like it. Jesse's, well, I love that beer. I love that beer.
Oh, yeah, you can.
John and Eli's, I can't say because I never had it and I probably never will. Michael Komarov's beer, I'm a fan. I'm a great fan. I love that beer. Oh, how I love that beer. Dale's Pale Ale. Although
I
like Dale's Pale Ale a lot.
Although I would rather drink a barrel-aged tin fighty, but I do love the Dale's Pale Ale.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That's the best, hands down, Russian Imperial Stout by far. The 1050.
Wow, shots fired.
Oh, Sam. Eric,
my favorite. I love it.
I don't know. Brian, I surely do not know because I don't really go to the store and see Brian's home brews. I never saw.
That'll be awesome. All right,
It'll be on the shelf next week.
But apparently,
nice.
But apparently, if I get on some back channels in the black market, this could happen.
Oh wow, $40
Yep.
for growlers.
But I gotta go. I'm going to watch baseball, and then I gotta come back.
Sunday on Sunday if you're interested.
We'll see. We'll see. I told you, Michael, I may or may not be able to do that.
Depending on your trip.
If I go, yeah.
That depends on what Barry has to say about it.
Barry. I know what he's talking about.
All right.
We're all about Barry, and we ain't talking about Barry Gibb.
It's
Barry White.
as of right now, it's taking a bad track for John going, but we'll have to see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's still just a tropical storm, though.
I'm not worried. I'm not too worried.
Neither am I. I think it's just going to be a lot of rain, and that's it. But also about wind, heavy wind, and damage.
A lot of it stop John, who has to drive how many hours, John? 6, 7?
Yeah, not too bad. It won't be too bad. About 5, yeah, 6.
And look at the radar. Where's the rain? There is none. Except this little nicky-knack.
Not supposed to come for a couple of more days, right?
They say
You don't
Friday.
need rain when you got
down,
humidity.
but I don't know.
What I'm seeing, I'm not too impressed.
Brian, no hurricanes in Colorado.
Don't jinx it. Hold on. Knock off here. Don't jinx it.
I'm not superstitious. I'll call it like I say. I'm not superstitious.
It's like Mother Nature. Come on. What do you got?
I mean, I'm goofy and I say things like but I'm not superstitious. Okay.
Gosh.
Yeah, enjoy your game.
Thank you. I'm gonna try.
Have a good night.
Cheerio, boy. There we go. Chip, cheerio.
Hopefully Barry will miss y'all. So
Yeah. Bye, Barry. The only Barry we want is Gibb. Bye, folks.
Okay.
All right, Jay. Ladies, man.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
That's what we're trying to do.
All right. Now, wake up, Michael Komarov. We got some Dale's Pale Ale. We
All right,
give
I
it
need
a
to
rate,
refill.
a little review, or and I'll get another beer.
Let me step over to my keg to refill.
Okay, have a good one. Eric,
Have a good one.
Eric can relate to my thinking. I'm going to start my review of this, but I have to be. I've been drinking so many New England style that when I delve into some of these older styles, it's not like I can't rate it. It's just that it's not what it was to me before. Now, I don't, it's like maybe a changing taste or just the way things are going or whatever. I'll give it a fair rating. It's a good beer. Not going to insult it, whatever. But this is what we used to drink in my, I wouldn't frequent Dale's Pale anymore as a personal thing. But, I bought some. I bought a couple. So I'm going to.
You've been spoiled by all the hop varieties that impart the tropical fruit notes and the New England style IPAs.
The look was similar to Bumpy's. It's kind of a dark amber, golden amber kind of color.
Yeah.
And it has It had a little bit bigger head, but it's still, the head is still good. It's still foaming, and the nose is kind of, you get like a faint hop nose, and you can smell the malt sweetness coming up on the nose. So right away, you can tell that it's kind of like a combo. Most of the other beers that I'm used to now, it's mostly hops on the top. You don't smell very much malt. This one, you smell malt. It's there. You can smell it. It's there. And now I'm gonna taste it.
All right, cheers, everybody. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
It is well balanced. The hop and the malt sweetness are very well put together. It's a well balanced beer. 6.5%, 65 IBUs. The bitterness is not, it's there, but it's not anything that's going to knock your socks off. The malt is very well defined in this, and I'll admit it's a well balanced beer.
I love that beer. It's a real good one.
It's very drinkable. And the only point I'm trying to make is my palate has changed to the point that I wouldn't seek this out. Not that it's bad. It's good. It's just, this would be a good entry beer for somebody who wants to do what we used to do.
Well, Michael, you're an advanced taster. I mean, your palate's changed, so that's kind of like, give me something that, give me a triple, give me a double, the double box.
I guess the point I'm trying to make, if I'm going to get something hoppy, then I want something even hoppier than this with more IBUs to really knock my socks off.
Like a Titan or something.
Just doesn't do it. I need Hop Wrecker or whatever it was called.
Palate wrecker. You need a palate wrecker.
You need
resin from 6 Point.
Or lime Hefeweizen.
I know Brian, your lime Hefeweizen would be very refreshing, and I would like.
Believe me, that's why I make it so much. It is refreshing. I got back I just did 5 miles working out, come back, and this is so refreshing.
And I like.
So Brian, when can I expect my package in the mail with about? What does it cost to send a keg?
To send a keg? Holy crap!
You have to send it by truck.
If I had to send a keg, I just personally deliver it if I could afford it.
Okay.
And drink half of it with you. on a live stream. That'd be fun as shit.
So for all of the negativity, well, that's not even the right word. For what your taste buds are telling your brain now, Michael Komarov, where's this rating today of Dale's Pale Ale?
I'm giving it a 90. Which is still, bordering on. Would you say that's an A-?
I would
rate about the same.
And that's as fair as I can be to it. And I might have given it a higher thing when I first started drinking, because I think the tastes were more amazing then to me than they are now. But I have to be fair to it. It's a 90.
But so I want to go to even a bigger, hoppier beer. I do want to hear from Mr. Bumpy Road, because he's got that Imperial beer. Now, first of all, I assume you have the Dale's Pale Ale before, and now that you're drinking the beer that you're drinking now, does it make you want New England style beer more than traditional IPAs, or is it all a fuzzy mess and we should all just get along? Or where are you in the grand scheme of how that Voodoo Ranger beer fits into the hoppy beer world of America?
So you brought up the Dale's Pale Ale. Actually, there'll be a video coming up probably next week on that. I think I was.
Did you steal one of out of
the same lines with Michael on the
I think you stole it from him.
But the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. First when I started getting New Belgium stuff, and I had their, I think it was like 8 hop pale ale. Didn't really care for it all that much. Then I had their regular Voodoo Ranger, which was a change from the original recipe. I guess they changed it from years ago, and didn't really care for that one all that much. But then I had their hazy one. I thought their hazy one was real good.
Juicy Haze, awesome.
Yeah, Juicy Haze. Good interpretation of a New England style IPA, especially for the price that you can get New Belgium beers at. This Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, Now, I'm not like huge on pine, and this has a lot of pine in it.
Yeah.
It's basically the nose. I mean, you get a little bit of like a bready malt sweetness mixed in with loads of pine and a slight little spritz of citrus note. My first swig of it, I actually tasted something that kind of tasted like spearmint almost real quick, and then it went into like straight up pine, and kind of mixes the pine bitterness kind of mixes with some slight bit of an alcohol note as well. It's not bad though. I'm not going to give it a rating, but it's probably still, it's not one that I would personally pick up again. But if anybody else had it, I wouldn't mind drinking. I just wouldn't put my money on it. I'd rather have something else.
It's Wrigley spearmint, a pine tree, and grapefruit in a blender.
Right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
But Bumpy, you said you're not going to give it a rating. You have to give it a rating.
But you're biting into a pine cone at the same time.
Michael is writing down the ratings in his book.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do this off the cuff. Let's see. The appearance 6 out of 6. The aromas on it.
Whoa.
Did I just get buzzed out?
Was that buzzed out?
Thumbs up, bro.
I'm sorry, a 5 out of 6 is that?
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Yeah, and then the aromas on it. I mean, like I said, I don't really care for pine and stuff, but it did have a decent aroma. Sure. It goes well. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 on that. The flavors, it's got decent flavors. Nothing really wrong with it. It just doesn't strike my fancy. So just kind of, I'll give it probably. We'll go with a 17 out of 19 on that. The body's perfectly fine. It's kind of pushing medium, and the carbonation I think was about medium. I can't really remember.
You're screwing Mike up big time on the scoring here.
Yeah, carbonation was fine. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for the body, and then my overall, I don't know. I think I'll give this 7 out of 10 for overall. So I don't know where that really lands it because I wasn't keeping track.
7 out of 10. So you got a good
what did I subtract from 50? So 50. So then there was a point. So the 49, 2 points.
There's a booger in your nose.
Was it 3 points?
You said 7 out of 10.
If you're not keeping
up with it, 2. So
you got a 44 out of 50.
So I'm at a
44 out of 50. What is that? What's a 44 out of 50?
That's an 88 out of 100.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it doesn't really correlate like that.
According to
it lands it on my scale still in an excellent beer range.
Okay.
Whatever.
So what do you want to give it? You want to give it 90 something?
I'll give it. Let's say it's a 90. Let's say it's a 93, 94, 93. Okay. 93 is good.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty high rating.
For something I don't really care for because it hits everything perfectly fine.
Well,
it's
just style guidelines. You gotta, that's fair. That's fair.
Jean, you still with us? I muted you. Are you there, Jean?
Mm.
That means, man, I don't know. All right, well, no Jean. We'll get. I muted you.
Wake up! Your mic is muted.
John, you're mute. Unmute yourself.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay, here we are. We're back.
All right, mute yourself.
So since I was muted, and it's not my fault, my street has a lot of activity, so music and whatnot. But in any event, since I drank most of the Qingdao already, it did have a very nice, very multi barley hops yeast, very more hoppy flavor than I'm getting it. But
very more hoppy flavor. All right.
Right. but 4.8%, it is a good lager. I don't buy this regularly because, because of the price, usually, for what? I think it's $10 for this, and they only sell it in a 6-pack, but in my area. But it is a very good, I guess you could say, this is being made, I guess it does have some a Euro sort of feel to it. I don't know if any of you've had this. It kind of has that year old, kind of like a Peroni, Stella kind of vibe to it, to this beer. I could be wrong. I don't know, but it's good. And it went well with, again, any delicious Chinese food, and even went well with these nice Conecuh sausage dogs I had tonight with some sauerkraut, some onions, and some peppers. So, there you go.
John,
And
what's
there's
your
my damn
number?
phone.
I need your number.
My number on this beer is an A.
Okay.
So there you go.
90,
Not a
91?
number.
A number, yes.
I'll
Make
give
it
you
a 90. 90.
Okay.
A
My
9.
favorite number is L.
My favorite tonight, the number L. Tonight, the letter 8. So yeah. Oh man.
7, 8, 9. Ooh. No. All right. Cool.
What's your favorite pound sign though? Is it the hashtag?
Fine.
Right, John.
Yeah.
Pound. There you
Uh,
go. What are you drinking now, John? PBR.
Peter,
PBR. That's always a good go-to.
Nice.
always.
call me a 30.
4.7. I give this, Michael, if you're scoring it, I give this also an A-.
All
So
right.
there you go.
Michael's book is full for the evening. We can't be adding more beers.
We got to get back to hoppy
I
beers.
squeeze Brian.
He has to sharpen his pencil sometime.
Brian,
This is what I'll be reviewing on my channel. Stay tuned.
Brian, but I
All
have room for you.
right, sweet. We drink that in Boston. All right. Yeah. We got to get back to hoppy
Mark
beers.
Walker.
We'll
What's
get
coming up
right over to my holy crap. We got to get to hoppy beers, and then we'll get down south. We'll get down with Georgia and Georgia beer review, John Neely. So Jeremy Vincent, you got some little Miss Hazy thing. What is it? What?
Yeah,
Hazy little thing. There it is.
Hey,
Right.
this little thing called beer.
yeah, hazy little thing IPA. It's a Sierra
Little-
Nevada. First off, it's really good. It's a New England style IPA, very hazy, as you can tell, golden color.
There he is. He's got the beer too.
And when I poured it, it had a bit of like a finger head, and it went down like my bank account.
Nothing in
And,
it. Oh, boo.
So,
And the
but
bank
you're getting a lot of pineapple, you're getting a lot of grapefruit, and dare I say, mango in this. I'm not joking. It's got mango. I'm not doing that to mess with Michael. It's got
Banana.
mango. No banana notes, so no banana notes. I'm gonna have to subtract a couple points for no banana notes, but
Shit.
on a serious note, it's a really good New England IPA. I will give it a 94.
Bam! You heard it live, folks. 94.
Yep.
I do want to
Here
get
comes the train, guys. I'm gonna put you guys on mute. The train is coming through the area.
sweet.
All right.
Ride the rails like a hobo. No, don't.
I feel like we did this last night. He's eating the same hot dogs.
Deja vu all over
His
again.
camera falls over. The train comes through.
Bumpy, deja vu all over again. Yes, the train comes through around this time on 7 whatever times are right now. For me, it's 7:20 local time for me. Yeah, here comes the train.
Here comes the train.
We'll get to my hoppy beer in a minute, but I do want to hear because John's been doing a little bit of drinking and thinking and sipping and relaxing.
Yeah, I've been trying to. I would have already drank it all, but I've been holding out. It has warmed up significantly too, so
Start drinking then.
So
It'll be even better, John.
So basically, it poured with a nice 3-finger head, which is obviously died down. The appearance is brown, dark brown, kind of slightly hazy. Okay, so it's a quadruple ale. Boulevard Brewing Company out of Kansas City, Missouri. So you get some nice dark fruit. You really get the yeast, like the breadiness and like that, like a Belgian yeast type thing in the middle of the sip. A little bit of, you're definitely getting raisin. You're getting fig, maybe even a little bit of banana, but it's not as complex and super fruity as some of the other quads I've had. So although this is good, it does not stack up to the Chimay Blue Label, the Chimay Grand Reserve. It does not stack up to the St. Bernardus App 12. It is not as good as the Roquefort 12 or the Roquefort 10 or the Chimay Red Label. It's an American attempt at a Belgian I mean, a quadruple ale. It's in the excellent range for me, but I've had so many that are much better. The alcohol is masked well, 10.2%, 22 IBUs. The alcohol is masked well. There's no question about that. It does get a little bit more fruity as it warms, but it's not as complex as the true quadruple ales that I've had over the years. And for that reason, it's getting an A-. It's getting a 90 out of 100. It's still in that excellent range, and I've loved all the beers that I've had from Boulevard. This is a great beer. This would be more of like a starter quad because it only gets better from here. So 90 out of 100, but there's so many more complex and fruity and just better quads out there than this one.
Bam. Short, concise, sweet, to the point. I like it.
Wow, that was good.
Yep.
Let's get way too off track and say way too many things here. Thomas Metal 75, back at you again. We're drinking this hop. See, we're already using too many words. Trail Hop IPA, 4.75%. I don't. I was gonna go on the website before I say anything. Easy drinking IPA, light, refreshing body. So they are kind of saying that this is more like a session IPA at 40 IBUs. That's exactly where it is in the hopping for sure. So I've been drinking down on it and giving it some sips and some thoughts here. I'm pretty good with this one. I think the more these different kind of long trail beers from Vermont that I try, the more I end up liking them. Some of them are just kind of like standardized, like it's really good craft beers, but nothing is really outstanding and makes them step out from the rest. And I kind of think that to a certain extent with a lot of these IPAs. But let's talk about this one. This one definitely has your lemony yellow kind of look to it, like a hazy New England IPA, a little bit more orangey in the light here. It does have some good lacing to it in my crazy mosaic Proclamation ale glass tumbler. It definitely has those sweet white bready malts. I'm getting a little bit of the lemon limey notes to it with the pineapple and grapefruit up front. Maybe some orangey notes there too. Just basically sweet bready notes. There's not really a toasty element to that. And I'd say a touch of the what do they call that? The oils, but not very resinous at 4.75%, 40 IBUs. Cheers.
Cheers.
They said pale golden. That's a good color for that. Yeah. It is very it's not extremely dry, but it's very dry. Definitely everything is coming at you like in the nose, except for the fact that I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a peppercorn. Maybe that's a white peppercorn.
Wow.
But it is kind of like the peppercorny note, kind of like in a Saison. That is kind of the peppercorny element that I could pinpoint it to in other styles of beer. But otherwise than that, every other note you want. It is a medium-bodied beer towards light, but medium. Extremely refreshing at that body. Crisp, very clean, very refreshing. It is hazy beer, but it's not like you're crunching down on yeast, or it's not like there's a lot of like just chalkiness from the yeast in there anywhere. So this one's a very good, excellent, well-made beer. I think even Jay Terrio would like this one. I know session IPAs are just not for everybody, just because they want bigger bodies and more malts and more juicy, resinous, hoppy flavored. But I actually think that this has enough going on that anybody can be satisfied. And in the summertime, yeah, this thing is going to go down without a fight. This is 5/9/2019, so not extremely old. So I like that. I'm gonna go along with everybody else and go right along the lines in the middle of a lot of these folks tonight. I'm gonna go with that A- around a 92.
Ooh.
It just got a smaller body than what most people want from an IPA. But when you want an IPA that is drinkable as all hell, some reasoning you see it, yeah, get this one. Yeah, I should shut up and drink. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheerios.
Oh, we're getting our audio banned. Whatever.
Not if you only do it for a little bit.
I don't care. We're having fun. So let's go with Michael Cormorant.
Oh, Brian,
Fan of all these styles.
Brian has to rate his lime hefe first.
Ooh, yes,
Okay.
do it.
Self-rated.
You know what's funny is I can get into detail on my beer that you guys can't with yours. So
Ooh.
On a personal level.
Okay, try it.
all right, so here we go. We're going to share a screen here.
Let's get personal, baby.
Okay.
We're going to get personal. Okay, so let me get it up here. So this is I did a 10-gallon batch. I call it the lime Hefeweizen. It has a total of 23.5 pounds of grist. So 15 pounds of two-row, 2 pounds of Vienna, German Vienna. German wheat malt, we got 4 pounds. We got Carapils, which is dextrin malt, which is 2 pounds. And then rice hulls, and what that does is it keeps that wheat malt from clogging up the pipes. And then for hops, it's Rakow and Soriachi Ace, and they're very low alpha acid, so they don't contribute a lot of bitterness, which a Hefeweizen should be. And then used White Labs Hefeweizen 4 AL, which is a WLP 380. And I actually got better attenuation out of this. This one was supposed to come out to 6.2. It came out to 6.5 on it.
Better.
This, let me go back to my other screen. Stop the screen share. There we go. All right. So this is it fermented for about a month. The reason why it took a month is just when you do the initial fermentation, when you do the boil, you put lime zest in there. And this one I used 6 lime zests into the boil at 5 minutes left of the boil. You don't want to add the juice to it because when the juice gets into the wort itself, it kills the yeast. And I've had to dump a 5-gallon batch because of it. It's too acidic. No. So I found that for 10 gallons, I have to use 3 5-gallon fermenters because the krausen grows so high on this thing. As soon as the krausen goes down, I add Simply Limeade. I go buy 2 of those Simply Limeades and I add it to it. So it enhances the lime and the ABV to it. So in all actuality, since I couldn't measure it, to the nth degree, I should say, this is probably a 6.8, if not a 7% beer.
Ooh.
So, like I said, I did 5 miles. I came back. I had a salad for lunch, an avocado. So this is kind of my liquid lunch, and just one beer. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Is it better when the ABV is higher?
Yeah, it's really good. You can't even taste the ABV on it at all. I wouldn't call it imperial. It's not quite there, but the lime really gives the Hefeweizen a pop because with the Hefeweizen yeast, you get those bubblegum and banana and those key flavors that you get from a Hefeweizen. And the longer you let it set, the more clearing it gets. But usually it's a real cloudy beer. Hefeweizens are usually cloudy. So this guy sat for probably a month and a half before I kegged it. And this has been in the keg for probably 3 weeks.
Wow.
So it's really, I force carbed it, let it set on the carb for, I've been sipping on it for a while now, but I have another 5 gallons back in the corner over here that as soon as this keg goes, it's going to go in. So yeah.
Damn.
Good stuff.
Going.
This is one of my better beers that I make. Usually I'm really good at the IPAs and stuff, but the Hefeweizens, this one, I've been working on this recipe. I stole the recipe probably 5 years ago, and I've been tweaking it, and I've had this one solid for probably the last 3 years. So this one is going to get a very high rating. This is going to be a 99.
Wow.
Hefeweizens and Witter beers or wheat beers, they're very popular during the summer. Am I correct?
Correct. They're like what we call a lawnmower beer, but this one's a little bit. You wouldn't want to use it as a lawnmower beer, not a sessionable type. This would screw you up.
This is what you drink after you cut the grass.
Yeah. While you were drinking,
and you're in for the evening, and you're not going to be going out for the rest of the evening.
No, I mowed my neighbor's lawn. I forgot to mow mine.
Right. I don't know if you
or better yet, how about this? You mowed your lawn, and wow, I didn't realize I mowed the other person's lawn.
There you go.
Can you see there we go. Can you see on the side there?
Carbonation.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a medium carbonation. I've had this poured for what, 5 minutes? Yeah. It's got good legs. I mean, it's got a good lacing.
Knows how to use them.
What's that?
She's got legs and she knows how to use them.
That's right.
Bam. It's easy top.
Yeah, good stuff. One of my best beers.
Bam, everybody. Yeah.
I like
everything is over 90.
Wow.
I know, it's cool.
I could drink a beer right now, and I'm going to.
There's no bad beer out there unless you're drinking Camo, you know.
Or Miller Lite.
You know, but or better yet, Big Flats. You know,
it's the water that makes the taste. They say at Walgreens.
There you go. It is.
What the water is? Yeah, water's a crucial part of beer. And when I did my, what are they called? The 9 frequently asked beer questions.
1901, Big Flats.
Yeah, when everybody was doing that beer niche thing, where she had asked everybody to go, all the beer raters and reviewers on YouTube to go do their 9 frequently asked beer questions. One of the questions was, what is your favorite beer ingredient? And definitely, I know it's not like a flavor oid, or it doesn't impart like the most rich and complex flavors. But water for me is the most key to me, it's the key ingredient to beer, and it is my favorite ingredient to beer because depending on what kind of mineral content, pH balance the beer has, you know, you can go use well water from my grandparents in New Milford, Connecticut, or you can use, I don't know, you can go to
Mississippi River,
use Fiji bottled water or whatever. That would be an expensive.
You get people to use distilled water, and then what they do is they treat that water with different salts too. Here in Aurora, Colorado, the water that comes out here, the pH is really high. So I have to treat it, not only pH to get the alkalinity up because it's too normal. I have to add salts to it. So I noticed a big difference in my beers after I started treating it correctly. After you learn about how water is in your beer, it's night and day, complete night and day. Your beers are it gives it that, you know, when you see a picture of someone smiling and it goes ting, you know, where you got that little brightness coming off their tooth.
Oh, yeah. Same
thing with the beer. You get that same thing. You get a really good mouthfeel. You get that punch that the water is perfect.
Michael Komarov brought back another beer.
Here we go.
This is from 6 Point.
He's thirsty.
Oh, 6
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
This is one of their limited release things.
Pale haze.
I haven't seen that one.
A low calorie beer, 99 calories.
Wow.
Must be a 3.2.
4 even.
Oh, wow.
You got that at the co-op, Michael?
No, I got this right at 6 Point.
But while you're pouring that beer, I want to go over to Bumpy and ask Bumpy Road about what do you think is the most important ingredient to beer, and what are your thoughts on the water in the brewing process?
Well, I can't really say there's a most important ingredient because without any of the ingredients that are used, it's not beer. So they're all kind of equally important. But yeah, definitely with water, it does make a huge difference. Some people are lucky and they just have great brewing water right out of their tap. But depending on what your pH level is and how you kind of build or what minerals and stuff are naturally in your water will depict on what styles of beer you can make. So I'm not really. Brian's more familiar with like exactly like the calcium sulfates and stuff like which one you need higher or lower to make it more bitter or more malty. But I mean that's some of the stuff that you can change around with your water just by adding different salts to it. So if you really like malt forward beers, then you can kind of create that with your water. So yeah, it is very important to have the right balance in your water for what you
science is cool. We're drinking science, folks. Cheers.
Yep.
Chemistry.
I think it is. I think water is the most important ingredient. Everybody says maybe it could be the yeast or the hops, but you know, it depends on the water. Like I said, you know, in certain areas, good tap water or Grand Bay, Alabama, not that far from me. I mean, they get their water from the ground well, and it's probably one of the most best drinking waters I've ever had ever. So, you know,
yeah, the water plays like it's that extract brews. It's not as important, but if you're doing a mash, your pH in your mash is going to help the enzymes, you know, break down the starches from your grain, your malt and stuff like that. So it's going to help you with getting more efficiency and getting, you know, better flavors and stuff out of that malt. And then on the other hand, afterwards, having the correct pH level after you do your boil. So if you go into your brew kettle with the right pH, it's gonna come out lower. It's gonna come out in like the higher fours, I believe, 4.6 or so after it's done boiling. Which the yeast they're kind of happy in that. Or actually, no, that's after it's turned into beer. It comes down to 4.6, I think. I think it's more. It's higher up before that, but yeah, the yeast will actually create some.
Yeah, it's higher up before it's fermented.
Yeah, some more lower pH levels, but that's cool. But yeah, I mean that's going to be with how much enzymes and the sugars and stuff your wort is going to help with the yeast as well. So whatever's left in your wort for
making a really great environment, not only temperature wise, but that water is just. It's like going into a hot tub. The yeast are just happier than hell, you know.
When I saw that documentary,
if you have unhappy yeast, you can get some unhappy flavors.
John H. Pierre.
Yeast do impart flavors in the beer too.
Up the floor, sir. John H. Pierre.
Yeah, I would say when I saw that documentary, I think it was Beer Wars or whatever documentary was about beer, and they were talking about Colorado, about how the Colorado River and how important that water coming from there to make all of their beers, you know, all the craft, whether it be Coors or, you know, from the big boys to these other, you know, craft breweries, you know, whether it be New Belgium, whether it be, you know, Oscar Brewery or whatever brewery it was, how important that Colorado River was because of just the nutrients and everything else coming out of it, just you can make some good beer. So yeah, I mean, it's all depends on location. Just like with what's that Grimaldi's Pizza, you know, talking about how New York water is so important to make their pizza, you know,
and the bagels and stuff too. Yeah.
Michael, you're examining and literally this beer you're drinking. Give us a little rundown. It looks like neon green. Whoa.
Take a look at this color. Talk about yellow.
Holy moly, it looks like lemon lime Gatorade almost.
Looks like lemonade.
Lemonade, folks.
It was brewed on the 27th of June, so it's only, what is that, 2 weeks old?
Wow.
What is that, Mike? I'm sorry I missed it. What was that, Michael? What is that?
This is you've heard about this. This is the Trail Haze. This is 6 points, hazy IPA, 4%. Now, my only problem with this, I like it. It's hazy, it's nice, it's refreshing, but they should have dry hopped it more because the taste is deficient. But maybe you know, I think of other beers, like I think of Founders All Day IPA, which has that stronger taste to it. This one is missing that, and that's a problem. But the way you look at the beer, you know, you look at the small head, but it goes down easy. It's a nice beer. But I would prefer it be more calories and taste better.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here, and maybe Bumpy, maybe a thrash metal Brian would be able to mention something about this. But when you say you want it more dry hop, in you saying you want it more dry hop, Michael, you're looking for it to have more of a hoppy flavor, is what you're saying, right?
They're saying in the description that they dry hop it at the end for the taste, and to me, they should have done it longer, or maybe they should have done more before that.
From a flavor standpoint or from a bitterness standpoint?
Okay, it's not very bitter.
Okay.
Almost all the stuff they have are 0 IBUs or 1 IBU, so there's no IBU. It's not bitter at all. There's no
You want the hop character without the bitterness. So if there's not enough hop flavor, then they should have put more hops in the dry hopping process at the end.
Now, probably you couldn't hold it at 99 calories if you did that, and they wanted to be under 100 calories. But to me, I'd rather be 120 calories and taste better.
Ronnie S is with us live. He says, "Dry hop this."
Right.
Yeah. So the reasoning I brought that up and what you said, because you said dry hop and then you said flavor as part of the same thing. My thought, maybe I'm wrong, that my understanding was that dry hopping is primarily done for aroma purposes.
Aroma and flavor.
But and actually, I think you'll still get a slight amount of bitterness too.
That's why I like New England IPA so much, because they add the hops late like that, and you get all of the hop flavor, but it doesn't have that bittering effect that it does if you have it in the boil or whatever. Obviously, Brian knows a lot more about this.
Well, the hot word is what the hot word with the hops is what makes the bitterness. So let's say that you don't have any hop addings during the boil except when you flame out. The wort's still going to be hot, and when you put the hops in there, you're going to extract some bitterness, but most of it's going to be flavor and aroma. Yeah. Most of your dry hop, depending on the type of hop you use, you can get the piney bitterness or something like that, but you're not going to extract bitterness in a cold wort or a fermented wort.
Now, not a detectable amount. It's very minuscule. There's always bitterness that comes out, even no matter what temperature.
It's the lupin glands. I mean, it's all.
Yeah. Jean Pierre, agreed or disagreed? You look like you're thinking about this very intently.
I am.
Well, I can say this. Have you guys watched Don Osborne?
Yeah.
So he kind of is on this thing about not dry hopping at all, because he's at least stated that some of his home brews where he hasn't dry hopped and he just used more hops in like the end boil, the whirlpool or whatnot, the beers actually are hoppier in aroma and flavor than when he dry hopped them.
Well, it all depends on the type of hop you use.
Right. I don't know if he was using the same brewer.
Either of you familiar with the two hops that are in this one? Vic's Secret and Enigma. Are either of those two hops familiar?
Never used them.
No, these are two.
I have to look them up and see what acids they have, the beta and alpha acids.
Right, but it is 0 IBU, so there's no bitterness in this at all.
0.5 at least, right?
Or it has to have, from what they told me, it has to have some IBUs, but it's fractional, whatever it is.
I asked a brewery here in Rhode Island about 0 IBUs once at a beer festival, and they kind of chuckle at the idea that even there are breweries that are trying to claim that. There has to be some amount, but it's almost undetectable by however they do the conversion process. I don't know.
Have any of y'all ever heard? I did a review recently of some beer, and it had the EKG malts or hops. I'm not sure which one it was.
EKG is East Kent Golding hops.
Right.
British style hops.
Right. And those are more popular.
They're
what
kind
style
of
of beers more so? Are they more popular with winter beers? Are they more popular with
East Kent Goldings? East Kent Goldings are usually used with the English type of beers. They're usually ales that you use East Kent Goldings in.
Okay.
Let me get my book. Hold on.
What is a winter beer?
A winter beer would be an Oktoberfest, a stout, a porter.
I thought he was saying winter beer as in like
winter, WITBIER. Kind of similar to a Blue Moon.
Wit beer means wheat.
Yeah, it's what that is it's a Belgian style wheat beer. Is a white beer.
Beer, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They usually use like coriander and like lemongrass, or they zest it with like lemon zest or something.
I actually like this, except it could have more taste. Otherwise, I like it.
We got 90-degree weather beer. There you go again with the ready. Woo!
Okay, so the East Kent Goldings, it's usually used in ales, porters, stouts, ESBs, and bitters. They're known for their aromatic properties, so they're more of an aroma hop.
Yeah, I think the highest I've ever seen their alpha acid's like 5.5% or something.
They're kind of like a Cascade here, only not as pronounced in the piney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they're kind of floral.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're floral and like earthy spiciness, or if it's floral and citrus. I know that there's definitely floral in there.
What's your favorite?
You got it right up, so you can probably read it.
What's your favorite Kent Goldings hop beer, John and Ellie?
I'm sorry, repeat that. Hold on.
Oh my God! What's your favorite?
My phone just got like 20 different. All right, hold on.
Wow. Well,
all right.
If you know the answer to this one, it's pretty awesome because I had no clue. What's your favorite Kent Goldings hops beer?
If I knew, I would tell you, but I honestly have no freaking idea.
An ESB.
Okay, my favorite ESB.
Your thought on the style, at least.
Boddington's is up there. I like Boddington's. I like the nitro cans. I think the creamy mouthfeel that the nitrogen adds is really nice. I also like Fuller's. The Fuller's ESB is very good. I don't really have a ton of experience with that many other ESBs. Samuel Smith's makes some great beers that could probably be classified as ESBs. Like they have a lager that's more along the lines of an ESB than an American lager because of the hops that they use. But yeah, that's really about all I can think of.
John, you're wrong because Fuller's uses Fuggles.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Michael said ESB, or Eric said ESB, and I'm giving you the ESB.
I was just joking. I was just joking.
That they do not use
All right. Anyway, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's about.
It's like saying like the West Coast Seas, where you have the Centennials, Cascades, and Chinooks. You know, they're all in that same branch.
Right.
Yeah,
I do love Fuggle hops are. I do know that I love Fuggle hops more than other hops. I love the earthy. Earthy notes that you get from the Fuggle. And plus, Fuggle is just so fun to say.
Yeah, it's a fun word.
Fuggle you, motherfucker. No.
Go Fuggle yourself.
Yeah. Ooh. Go fondle yourself. What? Michael Komarov. You went to Europe, but you did not go to the British or
no. I drank beer in Belgium though, and it was really good.
What's your thoughts on all this? Almost at Belgium. What's your thought on all this British malty style?
I've had some of it. I've had some Samuel Smith. I've had the Boddington and the Fullers and some of the other British beers too. I like them. Scotty's IPA. Where's that from, Bumpy?
From Moat Mountain Brewing. They're out of North Conway, New Hampshire.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Go England. Yeah.
I recommend this one. I was Moat Mountain's kind of hit or miss, and this one actually is a decent IPA.
I have to look for some New Hampshire beers. We get Smutty Nose. There are probably others I can get. I have to look and see which ones come from New
England.
Well, guess what? I know where to find Smutty Nose now.
Whoa! All right.
Supermarket. I was talking about it to some of you guys. I think it's called Little Giant Farmers Market, and they sell Smutty. Isn't Smutty Nose the one that makes clown shoes?
No,
that's from Ipswich, Mass.
Well, they're actually no longer in Ipswich. They're actually brewing out of what looks like.
All right, name a beer from Smutty Nose.
That's clown shoes.
Isn't that what I said?
The
that's
Spunny
the
Nose
company.
beer.
That's
Clown Shoes isn't Spunny Nose.
All right, never mind. I might not be able. Never mind.
You, oh,
I saw the.
brown dog.
The flagship is Old Brown Dog. That's the thing.
I saw Clown Shoes at the Little Giant Farmers Market the other day.
That's pretty good though. They get a lot of distribution now that they're owned by. Now that they have some ownership from Harpoon, they're gonna.
No, but the name of the beer I thought was the Clown Shoes IPA, and it's got that's what I'm talking about.
That is definitely the brand of Clown Shoes Brewery. Yep.
Okay.
Which did get
Clown Shoes IPA
bought out by Harpoon, which is a reasoning enough why.
Maybe that's probably why I can get it. Yeah, that's probably why I can get it.
I mean, when you get a bottle or a can of the Clown Shoes beers now, it'll say brewed in Boston and
Windsor,
where it is in Vermont. So
Windsor, Vermont.
Both of the places the Harpoon brews beers. Now, in my experience, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but in my experience with the Clown Shoes beers, some of them are really good, and some of them are. A lot of it is just hit and miss for me. A lot of it's just kind of adventurous kind of beers. But they can
most of their regular beers that are just put out, like the 6-packs and stuff, are just blah.
Yeah,
it's almost like doing Sam Adams or something. But if you get some of their like larger ones, like they have their like Undead Stout, it's an Imperial Stout. That's really good. They have some good barley wines and stuff like that as well. But
they made something called Space Cake that was good that I had.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's an Imperial IPA.
Imperial IPA that was very good.
They have so many. They have a Space Cake. They got Space Cake number 10. They have one that they did with Big Secret. Then they had a Belgian IPA called Space Diver. There you go.
Okay, so there's the Vic Secret hop again.
Yeah, thing. I've heard. I've had a few beers in New England that have had the Big Secret. It's not a secret in New England, I guess.
Yeah. Vic couldn't keep his mouth shut.
No.
All right, we got a viewer. We got a new participant. Oh. Okay. Anybody got any beer news or stories to tell? We're going Fandango.
We should. I have a recommendation. I think we should go off air soon because I'm pretty sure Drunken One and Alex the Beer Master are hanging out waiting for us to go off air so they can.
Well, you know what? That is good enough reasoning to do that, and that is exactly what we're gonna do.
You know how screwed Alex gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, you could just find us if he doesn't want to get screwed out. But that guy is thrash metal, Colorado. That other guy next to him, going to our left, Michael Komarov, Brooklyn, New York, a longtime Giants fan. Okay, Michael Komarov, there he is.
Let's go.
Yeah, Boston. John and Illy, Georgia's finest beer reviewer. Bumpy Road, New England. Let's see, Bumpy Road. I should do that sometime. I'm in New England. Jeremy Vincent, excellent, awesome, nice to see you. Arkansas, not yours, Arkansas. And John Henderson Pierre, go Kansas City Chiefs. No, John Henderson Pierre. He is a. I'm gonna die. Woo! He is a beverage rambler. Liquor. Hopefully you get back into that, but don't let the devil.
I am a huge Giants fan, ready for the NFL season to start. I need something to watch on TV.
The Walking Dead? I don't know.
I'll wait for the baseball playoffs. I'll wait for the baseball playoffs in October.
All right, we're gonna go find some other chats to join beer related, and maybe you'll see our faces pop up somewhere else. So I hold up a beer, and I say, until next time, whenever the hell that is, keep tasting those great beers.
Yes.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And
fun.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Good evening, America.